How's it going, guys? It's your boy Lieutenant Dan here for Unintentional Grounding Live. We have some technical difficulties with the intro today. I guess that'll just have to kind of do. It's always a technical difficulty. We'll have this hashed out by week one. I swear. I swear we'll have this hashed out by week one. I have a special guest with us today to talk a little bit about the game yesterday, because I did a 3.5-hour stream, and I swear to God, I was dead by the end of it. You guys could probably see my disinterest by the very last second of that game. I was like, oh, please make it stop. But Jazzy Jeff Real Talk is wait, hold on one second. Yeah, okay. Jazzy Jeff Real Talk is with us. Jeff, take it away, man. How are you doing, man? How are you doing?
Well, first of all, you gotta start with the Jazzy Jeff Real Talk, no gimmicks.
No gimmicks. None. Zero gimmicks.
None. Unless I'm drinking too much. But no, I'm doing good, man. Just chilling.
Good. That's what I want to hear, man. Honestly, is just what I want to hear. I want to hear that you're doing well, and all the grounders out there doing some serious work, which that's, it's making me happy, man. It's making me happy that we're out here and we're actually doing what we're doing. You know what, man? We started this such a low, like, little to nothing, no hype in the chat, no hype anywhere. I feel like we just started this so somber, so I'm just gonna take it back. I'm gonna run it back one more time, okay, Jazzy? Just run it one more effing time. All right.
Run it back.
Whoop. Back up. It's your boy Lieutenant Dan from Unintentional Grounding Live, and you are tuned in and locked into Unintentional Grounding, the Falcons' Nest on a Falcons Friday. Can I get a woo in the chat, please? Can I get everybody in the chat to just be like, woo? Come on. Show it to me. Here we go. We got quite a few people in here already. B-Baller, Steel, Wings, Marcus Johnson, Mikey's in the building, Pat, Anthony Wright, actually Ella's in the building. What's good? DJ Spank is in here. Evan Thompson, good to see all of you guys in the chat. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Rise up, stay grounded. Jazzy Jeff in here. We're about to go ahead and discuss this game. And honestly, man, like, just kind of, what are your initial thoughts? Like, just honestly, just lay it out. What are your initial thoughts about this game? What did you think about the entire thing as a whole?
I thought that the defense seemed a lot more aggressive. I noticed the 3-4 instantly. John Kaminsky is going to get more snaps because he's just being a beast out there. I felt excited about our corners for the first time since we got Alfred and Trufant back in the day. So they're good, man. Kendall Sheffield, he had, 6 total tackles, 5 of them solo, a forced fumble. So Jordan Miller almost had a pick. So our corners they're young and aggressive, and they're fast, and they fly to the ball. And I just can't wait to see what it's going to look like with the starters.
Yeah, honestly, I think all Falcons fans, and I mean, I see so many Falcons fans currently, right? Saying so much garbage. And I mean absolute garbage currently about, oh no, we lost the game, and oh no, this is how we start out. Oh no, you got 5 preseason games. That means we're going to have, 4 more worth of injuries. Oh no. And I just see Falcons fans right now. They're sitting out on this imaginary power line. All these birds, right? And they're all out on this power line right now, and they're like, oh my God, if we step on this power line, we're going to shock ourselves. That's not how that works. It's like, what are you guys doing? I see people, and this is just my initial reaction. I see people currently talking some smack about how, so this is how Dan Quinn's going to start his defensive takeover, by allowing the Denver Broncos to beat us by 4 points. And I'm like, we're a preseason game.
Bro, I was on a NFL YouTube channel, like, just watching the highlights, and I commented that Kurt Benkert had a better game than Schaub. and some Broncos fan replies to me and goes, "Yeah, but y'all still lost." I'm like, "What the? It's preseason, bro."
We're like talking. We're talking like not even practice. We're above AI level right now. We're like
Not the game.
not the game, not the game, not even a real game. We're talking about like
We talking
dress
pre.
rehearsal. but on a serious note, we're gonna go through each and every single position.
Okay.
We're gonna kind of give an overview of these positions to the fans, and then I definitely want to tune in and kind of talk to the people in the chat and kind of get to know them. Make sure you go check out Jazzy Jeff Real Talk. Make sure you go check out his channel. Go hit that sub button. Go hit that like button. Go hit that notification bell. And make sure that you stick around here on Unintentional Grounding. We're going to be live for 30 minutes talking up a storm here. Some of the things we like, some of the things that we dislike. How long, Jeff? Let's start it out this way. How long? How long before Schaub gets canned? Because Kurt Bigkirk was out there throwing and slinging, bro.
Well, if you already saw my last video, I already packed his bag, so I don't know.
If you haven't seen the video, Jazzy Jeff starts out the entire video with him just being like, "Yep, here we go. I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and just pack your bags, bro. You're out of Atlanta. Bye bye."
No, but seriously, man. I'd say by like preseason 2 or 3.
You think so? Preseason?
I do, because
3?
he's making a lot of money for a backup, man. He's 38 years old, and if Benker can stay healthy and play well, why not?
True.
He's cheaper and he's playing better.
True.
People are saying, let's wait to see what Schaub has with better linemen and receivers. But I've seen Schaub for 15 years now. We know what he is. So what else is there to see? I'm sorry.
True. Dre, true statement. Lieutenant Dan, it's been a long time, sir. It's been a long time, because I know he didn't put time in there. But rise up, stay grounded. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a hot minute. Benkert's got to be in, right? To me, I think Benkert's got to be your second quarterback at this point. Like,
absolutely.
Don't play games with me. Don't play this whole Matt Schaub is a reliable backup quarterback. Stop that nonsense. Stop that. Kurt Benkert last night, I know the numbers weren't fantastic, and he had to come out with what looked to be a turf toe injury, which we're still waiting for a report. I think it hasn't come out completely yet. Dan Quinn being mischievous and secretive. But Benkert, 19 of 34 for 185 yards and a touchdown. Matt Schaub, 4 of 14 for 10 yards, and an INT that was the lamest duck that I've ever seen thrown, although some people are quoting that it was tipped at the line. I call mischievous BS. That was definitely just Matt Schaub and his lack thereof of an arm currently with this organization. Not to be negative, but there is an end of this road, and it's a country road, and it doesn't have any cement on it, doesn't have any pavement on it, and Matt Schaub doesn't have any tires left to even try to traverse this dirt road that is being the backup quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. So at this particular point, I'd rather just go ahead and say I'll eat a little bit of that dead cap that we'll have with Matt Schaub. It's not that big of a deal. It's like $700,000. And Kurt Benkert, congratulations. You are the quarterback behind Matt Ryan, and you get to learn a little bit more of the new system and how things work. That's just me. Jeff, any closing thoughts on the quarterbacks and their performance last night?
I'm not. Well, first with Schaub, it was clear that he didn't have the power like you were talking about. A lot of his throws were in the dirt in front of receivers. They had to come back for routes. When he threw a little harder, they were high and outside and hard to catch. And basically, our rookie receivers were trying to make circus catches to make Matt Schaub, look good. And it just didn't look good. And he looked like a statue back there. I'm not gonna say Matt Ryan. He looks like Matt Ryan, Kurt Benkert. But what I'm gonna say is that he kind of moves like Matt Ryan in the pocket. He has more athleticism to avoid rushes, even when the line is looking bad. Whereas Schaub looks like a statue back there, man, for real.
Oof, big oof. Because seriously, you want because of Schaub being valuable in the the film room, being valuable as a veteran, I don't even see any reason why to keep him in at this point. Like, yes, let's say Schaub has a really good game 2 and a game 3, and then we get to game 4 and Ryan comes out there, and then they give Kurt Benkert extended time, and he just looks solid through the rest. Hopefully, he gets over this injury. Then why are you even? Why does Matt Schaub even get a pass? If Kurt Benkert plays even up to Schaub's level or better, and Schaub's already playing badly, and even if Schaub has a couple of good string of games, that shouldn't save this man, right? We should move on. We should move to Benkert.
Well, we should. In the comment section, the real Pat Man, he says that he's there for leadership and experience. What do you think about that?
I mean, like I said, in the film room, yeah, but at some point, leadership and experience is trumped by actual play on the field.
Absolutely.
You can be super, super, super mega leader. You can be a field general. I hate that term, but you can be a super leader. You can be very valuable to keeping the camaraderie together. But at the end of the day, if you can't perform on the field when they're asking you to do so, then you're just holding the team back. At that point, you're just dead weight. So, I mean, this happens to all football players.
And I can see where he had value back.
No, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, I can see where back in the day when Matt Ryan was younger, that his value made sense. But Matt Ryan's such an old veteran now that he doesn't really need Matt Schaub anymore to teach him things. He has Malarkey back there. He has, Quinn. He has other people now.
Yeah, true. Let's move on to the running backs. Is it a surprise that they gave Brian Hill 11 carries last night, who racked up a total of 57 yards? That's 5.2 yards per carry. And he did have a targeting penalty when he lowered his helmet on a run. I think it was a 15-yard run that actually got pulled all the way back. Is it surprising that Brian Hill is getting so many touches currently? Where guys like Ito Smith, Quad Squad, and Kejion Barner are, were total 12, 14 carries among the three of them?
I would say it's a total surprise because I expected more from Ito, but I still yet and see he is hesitant when he hits holes, and he doesn't look decisive when he wants to run the ball, whereas Brian Hill looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball. And Dan Quinn also said that Brian Hill's been working on his receiving. So I think those things played a factor into it.
I think you are correct that it does play a little bit of a factor into, the way that they were giving the ball to him, the way that his runs were able to break off. But I also will put this, I say it all the time, symbiotic relationship between running backs and offensive line. And depending on who was in front of Brian Hill at the time, some of his runs had a couple of really good guys in front of him, and some of the runs were late in the game. Not that we can't evaluate this, but I think Brian Hill, he's been in the league for 2 years now. And I think this is going to be his third year this year. He's trying to stick to the squad. Yeah, he has pass catching ability. Yeah, he's a poor man's Tevin Coleman. But at the end of the day, do you want to give to a rookie like Quad Squad, or do you think that it's safer for the Falcons to potentially continue to feed Hill and see what they can get out of him?
Well, you already know I'm on the quad train, Quad Squad all day. I felt like they did Quad Squad a disservice. They didn't give him good runs and good down and distances. He was always getting the ball like second and tens. And I just think Brian Hill had better blocking. He had better down and distance carries. And I think we need to see a little more before we call it a day for Brian Hill. I don't think that one game will cement him.
Of course. On the day, like I said, Brian Hill, 11 carries, 57 yards, some of that negated. He could have had more, some of that negated by penalties. Surprisingly, Kurt Benkert had a rush last night for 17 yards. He can scramble a little bit. Ito Smith with 3 carries for 6 yards. Quadri Olison, 6 carries for 2 yards. I felt like he was just given really tough snaps last night. I really thought he
Yes.
was given a lot of tough snaps last night. And Kejon Barner with 2 carries for 1 yard. I think some of those carries were actually negative yardage, so he probably could have had about 8 yards or 9 yards last night, and yet he was knocked in the backfield a couple of times. Who do you think? I mean, it's so early to be trying to project this right now, but do you think Brian Hill has a leg up right now on a guy like Olesen? Do you think we carry maybe 4 running backs on this squad?
I think Brian Hill has a leg up. Kenyon Barner, they gave him minimal carries, but I think Kenyon Barner should be strictly special teams. It actually depends on the health of Devontae Freeman. I mean, how much load can he carry? How much
True.
load do we expect him to carry? He's not going to carry, like he did back in the day. Those days are over for him.
So let's move on to wide receivers. I think it's important for us, by the way, very quickly touching on the rushing and finishing up. I think it's very important for all of us, I think Falcons fans in general, to understand that we didn't have all our starting guys on the O-line out there playing. We didn't have all of the guys in the right situations. Of course, this is all situational football in its own right. So this is all a huge practice. Down in distance, finding the right guys to put in the right places, see who works on one play, see who doesn't work on another. So I think Brian Hill getting a lot of opportunities this last game. The next game you'll probably see Barner and Olesen get more snaps, or maybe Ito gets more snaps and eats into this. So it just depends. It really just depends on the rushing. But receiving, how about this? Christian Blake last night.
Yes.
5 receptions, 46 yards, 9.2 yards a reception. Can we say that maybe Christian Blake might be coming out just a little bit? Because, I mean, I'm looking down the rest of this. Sean Bain, Oz. We'll talk a little bit about Jaden Graham in just a little bit. Russell Gage. We're talking about guys that made singular big plays. Really, to be honest, like Oz only had 2 receptions for 31 yards. Like Bain had 3 receptions for 39 yards. Christian Blake had 5 receptions for 46 yards. The lone touchdown came from a Brian Hill pass. I believe that was from Ben Kirk. Was that from Ben Kirk? Yeah, that was from Ben Kirk throwing that touchdown.
No, it wasn't from Schaub.
Yeah, definitely wasn't from Schaub. Of the wide receiver depth chart battles, do you think that Christian Blake has a leg up right now?
I do, because it's not just that he caught 5 balls for 46 yards. It's when he caught the balls. He moved the chains on third downs. Every one of his catches were moving the chain catches to get us out of third down to first down. So he seemed like a safety blanket for Ben Kirk. And it seemed like he was always Mr. Reliable on the spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's very interesting, because if you actually go and look at the targets themselves, a guy like Oz, who everybody is really, really into, Zacchaeus, he had 3 targets on the night and caught 2 of them for 31 yards. So We're talking 15.5 yards a reception. Is this the next? I hate to peg him as this kind of guy, but is he the kind of guy that can back up at Calvin Ridley in that second or third spot, in a slot spot, and potentially make this roster over a Devin Gray, who, like Devin Gray last night, had a couple of targets, but some of those were Schaub just sailing things right over his head. I would like to see more. I mean, we're only going to see him maybe once, but I would love to see Matt Ryan try to target some Devin Gray in like the 4th preseason game,
Well, yeah, but we also can't forget about Russell Gage. We can't forget about Hardy.
Right.
Gage had 1 reception for 21 yards, but once again, Matt Schaub was killing their production. So it's hard to evaluate how good they were when Schaub had such a bad night.
It's true. It's 100% true, and ultimately, I think it will come down to who had the most successful catch rate. I think it really just will come down to who has the most successful catch rate, because at the end of the day, you know Julio's going to be on this squad. You know Sanu's going to be on this squad. You know that a guy like Calvin Ridley's going to be on this squad. A guy like Justin Hardy right now is having a battle between Christian Blake, Devin Gray, Russell Gage, and you know Gage, they're really high on him. So at this point, I think you're talking about the 5th, 6th, maybe 7th wide receiver spots, depending on who potentially wins those tight end spots, how many guys you carry at the running back position. Some factors here, man. Some factors that I think are gonna really flip things. But you would say that it's still too early to tell whether or not somebody's closing.
I would say it's still too early to tell. But another thing about Hardy is that, remember, he used to work for our punt returns. He might get pushed out of that spot as well.
Yeah, I mean, Green was out there taking a couple, feeling a couple. I think, wasn't it Green that actually muffed one, or was it Gage that muffed one and was able to pick that back up? And we all kind of made our own little snicker last night. Like, yeah, oh boy, you can't be doing that here. Can't be doing that here at this level. But let's move on to a character, Jaden Graham, that 6'4", 250 tight end. That is actually pushing Salbert right now. If you actually go look at him last night, he had 2 receptions for 22 yards, and I think he had 4 targets last night. And this kid was just catching shit. That, I mean, honestly, I think there might be a battle. There might be a tight end battle, and it's creeping up on us. I mean, a guy like Alex Gray last night had 1 target and was not able to get it in the end zone, just a ball thrown behind him, and that one opportunity wasn't able to capitalize. But this kid, Jaden Graham, is capitalizing on what's being thrown to him. And honestly, man, do you think there would be more of a battle for that tight end spot, or do you think that it's already set at the 4 guys that we currently have?
I think it could be a battle in terms of receiving, but how good is Graham in terms of blocking? Because Sauber is a pretty big dude, and he can block.
Right. Yeah, we'll probably have to key in on that a little bit more as things kind of progress, because honestly, I'm going to be doing a film breakdown on John Kaminsky, who I don't know if you were excited last night, but
the big dog?
Damn, Kaminsky! Coming out here and showing up the 26-inch pythons on those arms, man. Like, what's up with that?
Man, he had one play where he got blocked. He swam around the block. I mean, this guy, he has multiple moves. He doesn't just get stuck, and that's what I like to see.
Yeah. On that Jaden Graham, by the way, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 22 yards. So that's killer, 11 yards per catch. John Kaminsky last night, I put the stats on Twitter, I believe. But Kaminsky had 6 total tackles, 3 solo, a sack, a tackle for loss, a fumble recovery, and a QB hit. He did get pancaked once last night. I didn't catch it. I had to go back and go see it again. But Kaminsky's looking like that guy that should push a Jack Crawford and be like, obviously he doesn't have to take your job right now, but if there's any slippage in camp, there's any slippage at all, get yourself ready, because a guy like Kaminsky can just come and just fly in, take your job like nobody's business. Chat, what did you guys think of John Kaminsky and Jeff? Tell me, man, who was your surprise defensive guy last night? Was it Kaminsky?
It was Kaminsky. I'm not gonna lie. Small school guys scare me, and this guy just came to play, man. I don't know what it was. He lives 10 minutes away from that stadium, so a lot of people are out there rooting for him, and I think he just sucked in all that energy, man, and went out there and balled out. He's a lot stronger than he looks.
Yeah,
is what I'll say.
I knew about his strength coming from the draft. I knew that he was a 3-tech and 5-tech. I knew that he was a big guy. But I was a little worried when I saw him at camp, because he didn't look as big as he did in his tape or pictures when he was playing for Charleston. Correct. And then as soon as I saw him actually out there and actually performing, he looked bigger than a Patrick Kearney. And I was like, damn. Look at this kid. He's a monster. He's a little beast. And he's fired up, too. Like, you saw when he got that sack. And he immediately was doing, like, a Tack-esque celebration. I just want to see more Kaminsky and Tack, bro. I
Well,
want to
I
see
don't know.
more Kaminsky and Tack.
I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but he actually came to college as a quarterback, and he weighed like 215, and then he put on like 30 pounds of muscle, and then switched positions.
Damn.
That is ridiculous.
Let's put some more stuff into this defensive talk. You were talking about Sheffield with
Yes.
He was able to
The
get
chef,
5 total tackles and had some. I just came in with 4 solo tackles and really just was a force to be reckoned with. But I think I want to focus on this dude right here. I want to focus on Foye Oluokun. I really do.
Oh, he was racking up tackles.
The kid popped somebody last night, and I was like, just really, that's what we're doing. And he didn't get lost in the shuffle either, which is another crazy thing that I saw last night, where there was an obvious shade pass that happened.
Yeah.
And Oluokun does not get stuck in that shade and follows his guy and is able to break up a pass. And I was just impressed. I was incredibly impressed by what he was able to accomplish last night. And it's just another example of a guy that I feel should get more playing time and potentially beat out a guy like Campbell. I really do. What's your take on that?
Well, just like Sheffield, they are both formed tacklers. They seem like they have incredible play recognition. They don't get beat around the edge. They're faster than they look, and they're very solid tacklers. They don't throw in shoulder tackles. He wraps up and actually tackles people. So
Yeah.
and he didn't look. He looks like he improved from last year. I guess all those injuries to our players, forced him to gain that experience, and now he's showing it. He didn't look like he belonged with these backups. He looked like he could belong with starters.
Yeah, apparently there may have been a groin injury or hamstring injury of some kind to Rashid Hageman, I got that notice a little bit early today and wasn't able to really look into it. Another guy that came out and really just impressed was Bethune. Goddamn, Uric Bethune, linebacker, 6'4", 210, out of Alabama A&M. And the kid came out with a sack last night, 3 tackles.
Was he number 46 or 49?
Let me take a look to see which number he is. He's 52.
52, okay.
52. And then Deidre Sanat last night had 3 tackles, 1 solo tackle with a tackle for loss last night. And I'm telling you guys, Sanat is going to continue to put up these unsexy numbers that nobody's going to clamor at, but they're going to be huge for this team going forward. I swear to God that Deidre Sanat, the more they give him, the more opportunities they give him, the more he's going to continue to show out and continue to play, amazing work. How about Jordan Miller last night almost getting an interception? What do you think about that?
The thing I like about Jordan Miller is that he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he gets his head around, and his recovery speed is really impressive. And he has those arms that he can knock down passes. He just got to work on being more of a ball hawk and actually catching interceptions. But I used to play a cornerback from Pee Wee through high school, so that's one of my favorite positions ever. So that's what I really look at. So I love the fact that he gets his head around, and his recovery speed is impressive.
Yeah,
just got to work in the hands. Just got to catch the ball.
Yeah, if he was able to get an interception last night, would you have put him above Sheffield as someone to potentially get more reps? I mean, obviously he's got a hell of guys in front of him: Trufant, Oliver, KZ. He's not going to beat any of those guys, but could he be the solid number 4 if he was able to get that interception last night?
That's hard to say because I put more stock into tackling because we already have a lot of ball hawking DBs. So tackling to me is more important, and I know he struggles with tackling. That's one of the things coming out of college.
Yeah. Justin Zimmer last night and Jermaine Grace both had half a sack. Jermaine Grace, 5 total tackles, 3 solo. Justin Zimmer with 5 total tackles. All of them are assisted with that half sack. And then also, if we want to talk a little bit about QB hits, this is another unsexy stat that nobody wants to talk about. But Kaminsky with a QB hit, Jermaine Grace with a QB hit, Justin Zimmer 2 QB hits, Bethune with 1 QB hit. There were a couple of guys out there that were laying some wood on Drew Lock and the guys that were out there slinging that ball. Do you think currently that this particular Falcons defense is going to continue to get more and more aggressive?
You mean as the rookies or the starters?
I mean, we know what the starters are going to do. We know
Right.
the starters are going to go out there. In fact, actually, this probably goes hand in hand with the looks that we were showing last night, because there were a lot of bear looks last night.
Yes.
But do you think that kind of maybe is a forecast of what we will see going forward from the guys on the lower part of the depth chart?
I definitely think so. We also have that kid Miles. He was out there hitting really hard.
Oh yeah, Durant Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn, man. Like we had a bunch of guys that were out there just killing it. Like we really did. And go ahead. No, go ahead.
The part where I still want to pump my brakes is goal line defense. It seems like we give up rushing touchdowns too easily in the goal line.
True.
Other than that,
with these experiences currently, though, I mean, I can't be unhappy with a.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, with a 4-point loss from these boys, and not like the wins and losses matter, but with only 4-point loss with mostly the third and fourth string out there working their tails off. I think a lot of guys proved that they should be here. I saw a lot of Kamel Ishmael out there working it. And even though I saw him working all of these tackles, he only had 3 tackles total. 2 were his own solo tackles. So there were guys on the field flying around, making hits and whatnot, and it just looked like a flurry. You could barely even see names, how quickly they were coming out there and hitting.
And don't forget special teams, man. Kaminsky getting the fumble recovery on the special teams. Like
Yep.
we look like we're flying faster, and we are hitting harder, I think.
Chat, what do you guys think of the special teams and how they performed last night? Because we didn't give away too many big runs. And honestly, I think the guy that really showed out the most last night, and he'll be the story of the Falcons forums, the Falcoholic, everybody will continue to talk about him until the next game, is John Kaminsky. I think Kaminsky really just blew it up, and we're going to want to see more production for him going forward, obviously. But was there anyone on this team from this game that we did not discuss that did something that you just were incredibly excited about last night?
Oh boy, that's tough.
Yeah. Because one guy for me, I mean, this is just my take, but one guy for me that really just kind of showed out was Delshon Phillips, number 46, the linebacker, who had that big hit last night. Looked like he kind of just had a chip on his shoulder, man, and wanted to prove to the coaches he can come out there and perform at an incredibly high level. Do you feel like there's anybody else that we missed potentially that maybe offensively or defensively that we haven't talked about? I mean, we didn't talk about Lindstrom.
We didn't touch on Lindstrom. He was out there mauling people.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what that looks like with the starters, man.
True, man. Like honestly, I want to see what Chris Lindstrom looks like with McGarry, with the ones, I want to see more of that. But honestly, man, I think it's a group of guys that are just looking really fast. Go ahead.
No, his ability to get to the next level, he's quicker than he looks, and he finishes people. Like, even when the play's over, he's still trying to finish people. I love that.
Yeah, it's honestly, man, for being such a long stream last night, me being incredibly tired today, and kind of looking over some of the stuff that they're going to be doing, and what they potentially were out there doing. Um, to me, this squad looks like it's faster. It looks like it's sharper. There were a couple of hiccups last night that we needed to get away from,
Uh huh.
but I think I'm pleased with what I saw last night. I mean, what's your take? Are you pleased with what you
We,
saw?
can we touch on? I'm pleased, but there's always obviously room to improve. I think if we had Benker the entire game, that game would have looked a lot better.
Yeah.
Um, but what did you notice from the play calling last night that stood out to you?
Honestly, the only thing that really stood out to me as far as play calling, offense or defense, was the fact that we carried over those bare fronts from practice to the actual game itself. And maybe that's just something that they want to show current opposing offenses, and then they won't run that during the season, or they'll run a version of it or a light version of it. But we saw a lot of bare fronts last night, a lot of three, heavy set defensive linemen on the inside, and then two, five techs on the outside, one being a converted linebacker. I thought that was really interesting. Offensively, I saw nothing. Like, I saw such a vanilla looking trash go down the field and show them literally nothing to base anything off of. And I think that's probably the smartest thing that we could have done, is continue to just play vanilla. Don't show them any reps that could potentially show them what we're going to be running during the regular season, and don't show out too many spectacular moves or anything, but try to get these guys as many reps as possible.
I did see, though, an effort to throw the backs the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah.
I mean, even Quadri got a target, and he's not even a receiving back. So that's something to look out for.
Yeah, I'm excited, man, and honestly, I knew the show was going to be kind of like just a recap of what we saw last night, and we were just going to have just a few talking points that we wanted to settle. And I want to thank everybody in here for coming through, because we just went past the mark that we need to settle down and go ahead and bow out of here. So I want to thank Jazzy Jeff for coming through. Jazzy Jeff Real Talk. Tell them where they can find you, man. Pop those links for the peeps, and tell them where you're at.
So I'm on YouTube. It's my channel is Jazzy Jeff Real Talk. I have links in your description, I believe.
Yes.
And I'm just a guy who keeps it real. I'm not EDP, even though you think I might be. I'm not gonna take my clothes off. Don't worry about that. But no, I just like to be real, speak my mind. I also bring facts. I also bring numbers. And I also try to add a little humor and more personality and face to Falcons Nation, because I think we're coming to take over YouTube.
Yeah, man, we're out here to do our part and take over this thing, and we will be live again with you guys. A Falcons film breakdown will be coming up this weekend, either by Sunday or by Monday. So get yourselves ready for that. That's going to be a John Kaminsky film breakdown. And then also on top of that, get yourself ready. And I think my camera just died, unfortunately. But get yourself ready for the next live, which will be, I believe, on Wednesday, where we're going to be covering all the NFL news and notes going on. And we're going to be doing that every single week starting this coming Wednesday. So definitely tune in to Wednesday's show before we go live again on Thursday, when we play against the Miami Dolphins, which will be our second preseason game in a grouping of 5 that we're going to be doing. Just some unluckiness, I guess, or maybe it is luckiness, so we can finally see what our depth needs to be. But rise up, stay grounded. You guys take it good tonight. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your night. Go into the comments section. Tell us what you thought of the game, and where you think this team is going to go going forward. My name's Lieutenant Dan. This was Jazzy Jeff Real Talk, and we will talk to you guys again real soon. Peace and air grease.
Take care, y'all.